Assalamu alaikum, Fatin Huzrat. A very good afternoon, good morning to all of you. मरकज़ी नूर सेंटर फॉर सेकुलर स्टडीज आप सबको वेलकम करता है इस सेमिनार में, नेशनल सेमिनार में, जिसका उन्वान है कश्मीर एंड सेंट्रल एशिया कॉमन मिस्टिक हेरिटेज। एक फॉर्मल इंट्रोडक्शन के लिए मैं खत साहब को इसके लिए दावत देता हूँ।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Before I will formally start, with the permission of the Honorable Chief Guest of the conference, inaugural function of the conference, I will request Dean Social Sciences, Professor Mohammed Subgarai, to please come. Please. Honorable Chief Guest, University of Kashmir, Professor Farooq Ahmad Masoodi, Dean Academic Affairs, worthy guest of honor, Professor Nisar Ahmad Mir, Registrar, University of Kashmir, Professor Gulshan Majid, keynote speaker on the occasion, former Director Center of Central Asian Studies, University of Kashmir, Professor Noor Ahmed Baba, formerly Dean School of Social Sciences, University of Kashmir, Dr. Muhammad Yusuf Ganai, Dean Social Sciences, University of Kashmir, renowned practitioner, Sufi practitioner, and a formidable scholar on Kashmir Sufism and mysticism, Janab Haji Muhammad Yusuf Dambaz Gadri Sahab, Professor Tariq Ahmad Rakhtar Sahab, Director Center of Central Asian Studies, Professor Ejaz Muhammad Rakhtar Sahab, Head Department of Urdu, Dr. Afaq Aziz, Professor Rafiuddin Makhdoumi Sahab, Professor Irshad Zia, Chief Librarian, University of Kashmir, Professor Tabassum Firdaus, other distinguished faculty members. Because of the mosque, I don't identify most of the people, and participants from Central University of Kashmir, Islamic University, affiliated colleges of University of Kashmir, Chief Executive Engineer from Jammu region, distinguished participants who joined us online on offline mode, with special reference to the scholars from Tehran, the Delhi, Jawaharlal Nehru University, Jamia Islamia, and Aligarh Muslim University. Distinguished participants, printed electronic media, students and scholars, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am honored to welcome the dignitaries on the dais and the distinguished participants in the audience, both in online and offline mode, for having graced the occasion with their august presence. The theme of two-day national seminar, Kashmir and Central Asia, Shared Mystic Heritage, has been conceived for two reasons. Number one, to refer to the civilizational cultural ethos of Kashmir that emerged as a result of the impact and influence of prominent Sufis of Central Asia to the Kashmir culture and Kashmir civilization vis-a-vis the Sufi precepts, which subsequently shaped the cultural diversity of Kashmir. Number second, to explore intellectual heritage of Central Asia, Central Asian and Kashmir scholars to unfold their religious philosophy, worldview, and value system. Ladies and gentlemen, most of the features of current wave of interconnectedness and cultural synthesization owe its origin to medieval Islamic heritage. March of scholars, foreign lands, dissemination of knowledge and learning, establishment of madrasas, maktabas, and khanqahs, the process of migration and grand translation movement, and the concept of pluralism and coexistence are some of the features with essentially Islamic orientation, which encouraged cultural synthesization, interaction at doctrinal and practical levels. Celebrated scholars of Central Asia, as a result of this, began to visit far-off lands for acquisition of knowledge and trade. Khurasani merchants acquired rare books from different parts of the globe, and Central Asian Sufis established their silsilas accordingly in different parts with special reference to the region of Kashmir. Renowned works like Chahar Makala by Nizami Ganjvi Samarkandi and Sikandar Nama by Nizami Ganjvi Futuhul Buldan by Yaqut al-Hamawi, Safarnama of Ibn Fadlan. Besides providing a descriptive sketch of the social cultural conditions of the region, refer to the quantum of relationship that Central Asia has developed, promoted vis-a-vis its relations with the Central Asian, with the Kashmiri sovereigns and Kashmiri scholars. Ziauddin Barni's Tariq Feroz Shahi and Abul Fazl's Ayn Akbari contain several themes on which prominent components of the relationship between Central Asia and India in general and Central Asia and Kashmir in particular can be formulated. The contribution of Central Asian Sufis to peaceful cosmopolitan civilization and cultural advancement in shaping the history of subcontinent is noteworthy and unprecedented. This pragmatic and humanitarian perspective of Sufism is as reflected in their works and achievements, has done unprecedented services, the humanity in general and religious philosophy in particular. Renowned works like Masnavi of Mullah Arum, Gulistan of Bostan, and then Khusus al-Hikam of Sheikh Akbar ibn al-Arabi, Kitab al-Lumma by Abu Nasr, Kashf al-Mahjub of Ali al-Hijwari, Mishkat al-Anwar by Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, and then Awarif al-Ma'arif by Shahabuddin Sahrawardi, Tabqat al-Sufia by Abdurrahman Sulami, and then Risale Kusheri by Imam Kusheri, and lastly, the poetic composition of Maulana Jami has left an indelible mark on the vision, perspective, and the understanding of Sufi precepts that have been encouraged, promoted in the region of Kashmir vis-a-vis the influence of these prominent works. As a matter of fact, the civilizational and cultural profile that emerged as a result of the contribution of such Sufis played a significant role in shaping the cultural diversity of Kashmir and made everlasting contribution to its originality. Significant contribution, however, was made by none other than the significant prominent scholar and Sufi saint Hazrat Amir Kabir Mir Sayyid Ali Hamadani. This Sufi saint is credited not only with the propagation, expansion, and consolidation of Islam in the region of Kashmir, but with the cognizance of the mundane and the spiritual upliftment of the society of the region of the Jammu and Kashmir. His prominent works like Zahir al-Muluk and Awrad al-Fatih are some of the, or I believe, most significant examples of such type of work, such type of an approach that had been made by Hazrat Amir Kabir Mir Ali Hamdani while making the process of expansion, consolidation, and the propagation of Islam in the region of Kashmir. This impact of Shahi Hamdan Hazrat Amir Kabir Mir Ali Hamadani was so deep and everlasting that it becomes sometimes difficult for a person to separate the general history of Kashmir vis-a-vis religious learning and religious understanding. That is the reason that Allama Iqbal has rightly said, Sayyidu Sadat Salari Ajam, Dashtiu Memori Takdiri Umum. Consequently, the message of human brotherhood and love became an indispensable and unsegregable part of Kashmir's composite culture. It was illustrious sons and Sufis and saints, servants and literatures like Hazrat Shaykh al-Alam Shaykh Nuruddin Nurani, like Lalzat, Mirza Akbaluddin Badakshi, Hazrat Allama Anwar Shah Kashmiri, have not only been the torch bearers of acculturation, tolerance, and communal harmony in the region of Kashmir in the times of cultural polarization and religious animosity, but have cemented the bonds of human integration that led to oneness of mankind and oneness of humanity in the region. So, it is in fact this relevance of the seminar that the Center for Shaykh al-Alam Studies intends to study in deep the common mystic heritage that have developed over a period of time vis-a-vis the impact of Central Asian scholars to the precept of Sufis that have been promoted in the region of Kashmir itself. So as to make the findings derived thereof more compatible to the requirements of our new generation of 21st century. So it will be out of, I'll be ungrateful to conclude without acknowledging the kind support we are obliged, in fact, Center for Shaykh al-Alam Studies to our worthy Honorable Vice Chancellor to begin with, and then the Honorable Registrar, University of Kashmir, Professor Nisar Ahmad Birsa, who has been so kind, so compassionate, and has been positive to our every request and response. Whatever the infrastructure has been developed here at Center for Shaykh al-Alam Studies, it is only because of his personal efforts. The chairs, the podium, the rest of the facilities that are extended. In fact, we are going to start 2 classes, what we usually call open electives and general electives. And such facility will, inshallah, will be extended to our scholars who are expecting to be with us in the days to come. So with these words, before I formally conclude, I will request to welcome our distinguished professor from the Department of Islam Studies, Professor Manzoor Ahmed Bhatt Sahab. So kind of you, sir, for having this and all other delegates from civil society. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much, Professor Aki sir, for your comprehensive and elaborate concept note for the seminar. For our keynote address, I welcome Professor Gulshan Majid Saab, former Director, Center for Central Asian Studies, University of Kashmir. Professor Gulshan Majid.
Today's topic is associated with mysticism. How mysticism changed life of Kashmir and Central Asia. How you travel from this part of the land or from that part of the land, Kashmir. We have chosen in the middle of mysticism. We had in our years our difficulties regarding this topic, but we wanted to distinguish it. Or hoping if our speakers have taken note of it. To actually lay down the foundations, lay down the principles, or the distinction features of mysticism and Sufism, which is generally thought to be one of the kinds of the mysticism, which is true. And this seminar was held, is being held rather, under the auspices of Markaz al-Noor, under the guidance of Professor Khati, who is always supportive, always coming forward to help, to organize such academic endeavors, and sincerity. I said in collaboration with this department and other part of the collaborators in this case is that Asian Research Foundation. It is actually we tried for long, now for many years, to establish a society which should cater to the needs of the scholars here and try to understand the relations, the give and take, the endeavors of the Kashmiri scholars from ancient period to the present in developing the connections with Central Asia, which has always been the fountain head of our inspirations and our thought processes, be it in ancient period or the present. Though our contribution by saying this is no less. Our objectives in founding this society is to promote a kind of a discussion which will lead to the better understanding of not only Central Asia in general, but our South Asia in particular. Because everything we see today is from the perspective of the South Asia. how South Asia is to be benefited by our relations with Central Asia or beyond. I have always thought it my duty, though I have not been able to do the right justice, to do the justice in fact, with the topic, with my own ideas or endeavors. Because I have my own failures, my own limitations, of course. I'm a very less spoken person, knowing little, not much. There ought to have been a person who is more knowledgeable, who is more forthcoming, who is more hardworking. He would have really done a good job. I'm speaking about the Research Foundation. Today, we are in fact launching this Research Foundation. It's our launching group. In order to introduce it, we thought it better to organize a seminar where scholars would come, sincere scholars would come, those scholars who can guide us, who can help us understand better our endeavor, which we are taking up, and help us understand the approaches also. We are seeking their help. And in seeking their help, we have, in collaboration with Professor Khati, founded a platform where from we can not only introduce ourselves, our research organization, our research NGO, the foundation, but also seek your guidance too. So today we have two purposes in meeting here. Number one, to speak about the mysticism, to speak about the give and take between Central Asia and South Asia. I mean Kashmir and Central Asia, leaving other parts of South Asia aside for the time. So they too are very important for us. And number two, in seeking the guidance, in seeking the help from our scholars who are present here, like Professor Tariq, Baba Sahab, Khati Sahab, Zia Sahab, Afaq Aziz, Dr. Afzal, who is very close to me, always close to me, and Dr. Rafiuddin Maghdoumi, with whom we once tried to establish here the Indian Central Asia, a Society for Indian Central Asian Relations, way back, before 90s. And Satish Gunju was one of our scholars, one of our students here. Obviously, when I am the president, when I am the organizer, when I am the beginner, things are sure going to be failed. Because I have not followed my actions. I have not followed my thoughts. I have not followed what I say. I'm a total failure. Excuse me, sir, if I'm talking about my own person as well. Because these are my difficulties, my limitations. So today we have chosen a better person, Professor Dr. Ali Muhammad Saab and his team. And I hope that Rafiuddin Maghdoumi will positively join our team, this NGO. Because we need his help. He is forthcoming, he is ingenious, he is innovative, and he is very intelligent in these matters. And Dr. Afzal too. I will not ask Professor Tariq because he is too busy. Whatever he is doing nicely and let him do that thing, but let him also keep us in mind and Mr. Afzal too. So this was our purpose today, our meeting here. Now I come to the main topic. As you know, Central Asia has always been very close to us. In fact, most of the routes, though there are only one or two routes, but most of the times this route was utilized, exploited for better results. Why? Because all those routes which led from Shikarpur or Amritsar, or you may say South India, South Asia, and from Iran or Europe, Roman Empire, were infested with too many regimes, too many difficulties. There were killers. There were those personal wild tribes whose living depended on the loot, on the plunder, on the killing, on the forced abductions of men and women in order to live in the most unhospitable conditions those days. And there were too much tax regimes there. At every door of a regime, there were tax collectors waiting. So people would generally avoid that road, if possible. Anything which would start with rupees 100 will reach China, or from China to Roman Empire, 100 more rupees. So much tax was to be paid, and then life also was at stake. So usually, if there were small caravans, not big caravans, big caravans would always go from that route because that was just safer. If big caravans were there, and their security arrangements too were there. There were many security arrangements. मैं गुस्सा करदूँ यार अच्छा बोलो तो बात अरे मैं कुछ हाँ मैं हो गया ठीक है वन ठीक थे तकरीबन मैं आवाज दरअसल ना युस बह पान तो सह मेरी आवाज तह I cannot help it. Just ठीक हुआ so listen thank you very much so nice of you. So there are many tax regimes and there were dangerous to our lives. There's something अगर जो ज़ोर बोले तो सिर्फ से ठीक है So Kashmir route was more safer, though it was very difficult to. Big caravans could not pass from this route. Caravans had to be very small. But fully equipped. Because road demanded those things. So we see, right from the early periods, let us fix one of the periods as 200 AD, Kushana period. Or even earlier too, but Kushana period is generally profitable and authentic too. We see people from Kashmir traveling to Kashmir, traveling to Central Asia, and even beyond. even to Thailand and Cambodia too. Even in some cases, Malaysia as well. There are many references in Rajasthan too, and other documents from that part of those parts of the world, where we see men and women from Kashmir reaching so far away from Kashmir, carrying thoughts and ideas and books and the trade. It was from China and through Central Asia that one of the great ideas, one of the great changes which occurred in the Buddhism was made possible. That is the idea of the shadow of the Buddha. As long as Buddhism was in India, it was virtually a realistic religion, a pragmatic religion, a religion of the rural, a religion of the urban people, a trader's religion, mostly. And it is beneficial for all of us to know that even in China, those who received Buddhism, welcomed Buddhism, were the traders too, and the higher aristocracy, which embraced Buddhism. Yeah. But the specific changes which occurred in Buddhism either started from Kashmir, originated from Kashmir, or from China. And one of those changes was the shadow of the Buddha. Shadow of the Buddha, why I'm speaking about it, is Buddhism very near to mysticism. Makes possible the entry of mysticism or mystic thoughts or mystic line of thought into the Buddhism. In Buddhism and then came Confucius. And the two have their own kind of mysticism. Whether it was a Shaivistic kind of mysticism or Vishnu kind of mysticism, but which developed there in Kashmir was the Shaivist mysticism. And you know, those who have propounded it, who have formulated the thought, they will, if we see deeply into it, we find many things, many similarities in the shares mysticism, which have a good correspondence, sound correspondence with the Muslim mysticism. And my point of view will be most relevant if you see that Abhinav Gupta was not a pure Kashmiri. He came from outside, and it is what he said in Tamil, what he said about himself, about forefather. He speaks about his forefather, who came from northern India, mostly from the region of Himachal Pradesh and thereabout. And there they have already encountered the Muslim thought, Muslim philosophy, or Muslim young of ideas. It was already there. I don't say that Buddhism, this our great Abhinav Gupta learned his philosophy from, but these things were there. Because ideas travel faster than the human. It's always like that. Ideas travel fast, very fast, more than the speed of sound. You may see. So these ideas were in the Indian atmosphere. The countries which we now call as Pakistan or Afghanistan or the new emerging countries which will be there in the future. But so these things are so they learned. So Abhinav Gupta was already introduced to the wave of ideas, the wave of philosophy, the kind of mysticism which was prevailing in northern India and beyond its borders. The Muslims, you know, the Sufis, yes, I want to stress that. Sufis did a great service to Islam. Why? Because it was these Sufis, these dervishes, these myths who reached India in abject poverty, I will say, without carrying anything with them, save their ideas, save their faith, save their enthusiasm. They carried the idea, they carried the seeds, but importantly, and this is very important, they paved the way for the invasion of India too. Because they familiarized the people of India with a kind of philosophy which had to come, which was yet to come, which was yet to reach India. And they did what this being called the doing away with the indifference and doing away with the जो कहते हैं ना कि मैं discrimination होती है, bad ideas होते हैं, they stripped some of the Indian views earlier. So maybe this could be contested later on. I don't mind that, but they paved the way for those. Because as I see the history, I see them as the vanguards of the new revolution, as the vanguards of the Islamic revolution which came to India and so the rest is the history. The rest, as Mr. Professor Hafiz Saab has already told you that about Amir Kabir, who, yes, we know Amir Kabir through Zikr al-Muluk and other writings, which are not mystic writings, which could be historical or ethical or spiritual, whatever you may call it. But his ethical writings are Risale Nur, Risale Qawadiyya, and more importantly, his mystical writings, if you want to read those, if you want to understand those, are his exegesis on Hikmat al-Ishraq, Falsafa al-Ishraq of Sarwar Sheikh Saad bin Sarwar bin Maktoum. his expositions on his Hikmat al-Ishraq is more important to understand the mystic writing, this mystic thought of Janab Sayyid Ali Hamadani Sahab. So the rest is the history. And then came here the Muslim, the different orders, the Sarwar, the order, the Sarchman, they are more important than nothing with the other Qadriya others. Both the history and we go that one. With these words, with these few words, though they are not very few, I request you to please help our organization, help our NGO by joining it and lay a foundation for further research, for further development of the relations between South Asia and Central Asia. Thank you very much. So much.
Thank you, Professor Gulshan Majid Saab. We're really thankful to you, sir, for your keynote address on the seminar. हमारे दरमियान तशरीफ फरमा है अलहाज दम्बाज यूसुफ कादरी साहब. ये सूफी तहरीक, कश्मीरी सूफी तहरीक के साथ वाबस्ता है और एक प्रैक्टिसिंग सूफी भी है. इनका नातिया कलाम कश्मीरी, उर्दू, फारसी में है और तकरीबन 20 से ज़्यादा किताबें उनके नातिया कलाम की शाया भी हुई है. कुछ किताबें नमूने के तौर पर हमारे यहाँ मौजूद भी हैं. मरकज़ नूर सेंटर फॉर सेकुलर आलम स्टडीज़ की एक कोशिश ये भी रहती है कि ऐसे हजरात जो कि हमारी सूफी और ऋषि तहरीक को इसके साथ वाबस्ता है, उनकी इज्जत अफजाई, उनकी हौसला अफजाई करें. इस सिलसिले में हमने आज उनको यहाँ पे मदऊ किया है, उनको दावत दी है. हम बड़े शुक्रगुजार हैं कि वो तशरीफ लाए हैं. हमारी तरफ से मरकज़ नूर सेंटर फॉर सेकुलर आलम स्टडीज़ की तरफ से एक छोटा सा एजाजी तोहफा उनके लिए हम पेश करेंगे. मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ हमारे अजीज मसूदी सर को उनको ये रिसा साहब को भी शुक्रिया साहब, शुक्रिया मसूदी साहब. हम अपनी तरफ से मरकज़ नूर की तरफ अदा करते हैं दम्बाज साहब का कि उन्होंने यहाँ तशरीफ लाए और दावत देता हूँ फयाज यतू साहब को. वो एक थोड़ा सा नमूने कलाम, इनका नातिया नमूना कलाम हमारे लिए पेश करें.
आऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम. बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम. अस्सलामु अलैकुम ऑल ऑफ यू. बिलखुसूस प्रोफेसर खाकी साहब. गोल्डन वर्ड्स ऑफ अलहाज मोहम्मद यूसुफ परेद कश्मीरी कादरी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह. منور عالم شدہ بنور جمال محمد منور عالم شدہ بنور جمال محمد منم در کار دیدار یار و عاشقان محمد منم در کار دیدار یار و عاشقان محمد تمنا طی شده دوستان و طالبان محمد منم دری کار دیدار یار و عاشقان محمد. نعت خان بنن چھُنہٕ سہل کتھا کینٛہہ بیٚیہِ تہِ ایمان وول نعت خان کیازکہِ یِمن ایمان والٮ۪ن نعت خانن کوٚر پنُن رِدا عطا رسول کریم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. ییٚلہِ حسانس کوٚرُن، ییٚلہِ کعب بن زہرس کوٚرُن، یہِ کوٚرُن نہٕ کعب بن زہرسٕے یوت کینٛہہ، دوٚپنس کعب ژٕ چھُکھ نُمٲیندٕ، ییٚلہِ نُمٲیندس کرو تاج پوشی ژےٚ پتہٕ گٔے نعت گوہن پانے. أتھۍ رِدہٕ کِس سایس تل تھاوُن میون پیٖرِ کٲمِل الحاج محمد یوسف پرے دمباز کشمیری قادری رحمۃ اللہ علیہ وسلام.
شکریہ فیاض یتو صاحب یہ نعتیہ کلام ہمیں سنانے کے لیے. Now we have with us Professor Noor Ahmed Baba Sahab, who is our special guest on this occasion. He is former Dean, School of Social Sciences. We request Professor Baba Sahab to address the gathering. Professor Baba Sahab.
محترم الحکام مسعودی صاحب، ڈین اکیڈمک افیئرس کشمیر یونیورسٹی، نثار صاحب، ڈاکٹر نثار صاحب رجسٹرار آف دی یونیورسٹی، ہمارے دوسرے سرپوز مجید صاحب، یوسف صاحب، حاجی صاحب اور ہمارے محترم حکام دوسرے جو شامل ہیں اس ڈائس پر، یوسف دمبا صاحب اور بہت سے حضرات جو اس محفل میں شامل ہیں. سامعین میں کافی محترم حکام لوگ ہیں اور ان سب کو میں اپنی طرف سے سلام کہتا ہوں. میرا بیسیکلی میں نے ایک اچھا خاصا ریزنیبلی کمپریہنسو ایک پیپر دیا تھا، تو اس کے لیے ٹائم چاہیے. میں وہ ریڈ نہیں کر رہا ہوں، البتہ کیونکہ میں گستاخی اس محفل میں آ کے بولنے کی اس لیے کر رہا ہوں کہ اس کی بھی برکت اسی سینٹر کی ہے. 90s میں حالانکہ میری ایجوکیشن باہر رہی ہے، मेरा कश्मीर पर ज़्यादा कोई खास स्पेशलाइजेशन नहीं था, मेरा ट्रैक रिलेशन था, मिडल ईस्टर्न स्टडीज था। लेकिन जब ये हालात चैलेंजिंग सिचुएशन में थे तो मुझे कश्मीर की तरफ आना पड़ा। और खुशकिस्मती से एक टाइम गैप अरेंजमेंट हो गया यहाँ पर डीन फैकल्टी ऑफ सिविल साइंसेज। मुझे 2 साल के लिए यहाँ तकरीबन मैंने चेयर संभाली, तो उसने मुझे एक नई ओरिएंटेशन दे दी। उस दौरान हमने 1-2 सेमिनार किए, जर्नल पब्लिश किया। तो उस ओरिएंटेशन की वजह से मुझे एक मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी इंटरेस्ट दे दिया, और उसके साथ मुझे एक मिस्टिक ट्रेडिशन जो कश्मीर का अपना है उसका कुछ मुताला करने का मौका दिया। तो उस वजह से मैं ये जसारत करता हूँ कि मैं आप लोगों के पास हूँ, और मुझे शुक्रिया है, मैं शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ डायरेक्टर खाकी साहब का, इन सेंटर के, कि उन्होंने मुझे ये मौका दिया। हालांकि मैं थोड़ा एकेडमिक सेक्शन में ज़्यादा रेफर करता ताकि मैं थोड़ा ज़्यादा प्रेजेंट करता, लेकिन अब मैं कुछ अहम नुक्तों को हाईलाइट करूँगा। मैं शायद मल्टीलिंगुअल रहूँगा इस मामले में, टाइम ये सेंटर के साथ शायद इंसाफ ही यही होगा। मेरी आदत आमतौर पर अंग्रेजी में बोलने की है, लेकिन आज पहली बार शायद बहुत कम करता हूँ जिसको इस तरह। कभी कश्मीरी, मैं शायद कश्मीरी पे भी आऊँगा, उर्दू भी या हिंदुस्तानी भी कहिए, या कश्मीरी भी उर्दू कहिए, और अंग्रेजी। मैं ज़्यादा डिटेल में नहीं जाऊँगा, लेकिन मैं कुछ अहम नुकात जो मेरी नज़र में अहम नुकात हैं उनको मैं हाईलाइट करूँगा, इस वजह से कि मुझे लगता है ये जो मौजू है हमारा आज का सेंट्रल एशिया का, कश्मीर की, उसका हमें थोड़ा एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड करने की ज़रूरत है मेरी नज़र में। कि कुछ चीज़ें जो मेरी समझ में आई हैं कश्मीर का मुताला करते हुए, जिसमें मेरी उस्तादी मुझे मुजीब साहब ने भी की है। मैं एक्नॉलेज करता हूँ क्योंकि मेरा ये एक नया ही मौजू था इस कश्मीर की तारीख, खासकर तारीख का मैं कभी एक बाकायदा स्टूडेंट नहीं रहा हूँ। हालांकि तारीख ही सब कुछ है जिसके साथ मेरा बहुत ज़्यादा शगफ और इंटरेस्ट पैदा हुआ है कि तारीख को समझे बगैर आप अपने आप की, अपनी शनाख्त की सही पहचान नहीं कर सकते। अच्छा, ये थोड़ा अच्छा ठीक, मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है? मैं 2-3 चीज़ें कहूँगा। हमें कश्मीर का अगर आप जीनियस अंडरस्टैंड करने की करेंगे तो मैं समझता हूँ कश्मीर का अपना एक मकाम रहा है in terms of the genius that it has been producing in history, and इसका जो भी कंट्रीब्यूशन, जो डिस्टिंक्टिव एलिमेंट है जो अभी तक भी रह गया कि हालात खराब होने के बावजूद जब यूनेस्को को सब कॉन्टिनेंट पर किसी सिटी को हेरिटेज स्टेज देने का मौका आया तो कश्मीर मुंतखब हुआ। कुछ है कश्मीर में, और वो कुछ कहाँ से आया? एक तो ये अल्लाह ताला का एक हम पर मेहरबानी है, इस जगह पर मेहरबानी है, ये खूबसूरती है जो हमारा ये टोपोग्राफिकल स्ट्रक्चर है कश्मीर का, और जिसमें अल्लाह ताला की तरफ से हमें we have been gifted with some very unique and very valuable assets, natural assets. एक तो उस एटमॉस्फेयर पे रहना ही बजाय तो एक इंटेलेक्चुअल स्टिमुलेशन के लिए एक माहौल बनाता है। उसके साथ आप दूसरी चीज देखिए कि हमारी लोकेशन आप देखिए, हमको कॉलोनियल एरा में कहते थे वो एट द सबकॉन्टिनेंटल बॉर्डरलैंड, तो बॉर्डरलैंड से ज़्यादा मैं कहता हूँ वी हैव बीन एट द क्रॉसरोड्स ऑफ सिविलाइजेशनल इंटरफेस। آپ دیکھیے یہ کوئی چیز نہیں ہے. ہر جگہ دنیا میں آپ دیکھیں کوئی جگہ اپنے ماحول سے سیپریٹ نہیں ہوتی ہے, ہر جگہ سراؤنڈنگ ہوتی ہے. لیکن کشمیر کی یونیکنیس یہ ہے کہ یہ ریچلی سراؤنڈنگ ہے. Some of the most magnificent civilizations that mankind has produced are located just around this place. آپ چائنا کی چائنیز civilization دیکھیے, Eurasian دیکھیے, Iranian civilization دیکھیے, آپ ساؤتھ ایشین, آپ عربن کب سے جب سے Indus Valley وغیرہ, they were all connected with the borders of Kashmir. This has been located in the center of civilizational growth, including the Indian civilization. یہ چیز یونیک ہے کشمیر کے لیے. جو بھی مطلب جب بھی کشمیر کو دیکھنا ہو, یہ چیز we cannot ignore it. یہ چیز ہمارے ذہن میں رہنی چاہیے. تو اس کے ساتھ ایک اور چیز ہے, یہ صرف سویلائزیشنل انٹرفیس ہی نہیں ہوئی ہے, اس میں لوگ آئے ہیں گئے ہیں. کشمیر was always in touch with these civilizations through trade, through travelers. We have some of the very prominent, I mean, not even from this region, from West Asia and from Europe. We have had Greek remnants of Greek influence in Kashmir, Hellenic influences in Kashmir. So there are people who go beyond that. They would say Jewish influences and Christian influences that are there. Hebrew influences are there. So that's one part of it. Second part of this interface would be how spiritually and religious wise we have been surrounded. Some of the greatest religious orders or religious schools have been surrounding this and continue to be surrounding it. آپ ابھی دیکھیے بدھزم ایک سائڈ سے جا رہا ہے, لداخ سے ہو کے اب جاپان تک جا رہا ہے, تو پیسفک سی. اسلام آپ سینٹرل ایشیا سے بھی کنیکٹ ہو رہا ہے, ایران سے بھی کنیکٹ, ویسٹ ایشیا سے بھی کنیکٹ ہو رہا ہے, پاکستان سے لے کے آپ موروکو سے آپ اٹلانٹک سی تک جاتا ہے سیدھے, اور ترکی کے تھرو یورپ کے اندر جاتا ہے. یہ ایک اور ساؤتھ سے ہم سکھزم, ہندوازم ڈائریکٹلی کنیکٹ ہوتے ہیں. اس سب کے بیچ میں کشمیر لوکیٹڈ ہے, اور this is something very unique about Kashmir. As thought of it today, it has been historically, because there has been a lot of give and take. Majid Saab ne some of it is referred کہ اس کی کیا جیسے بدھزم یہاں سے چلا گیا چائنا کی طرف, اور بدھسٹ میں جو ریفارم موومنٹ کچھ ایسی چیزیں جو کشمیر میں ہوئی یا کشمیر میں ڈیولپ ہو گئی, مہایانا بدھزم جنہوں نے کہا, یا ہندوازم میں بھی ایک یونیک ٹریڈیشن فلاسفی کا یہاں پیدا ہو گیا. اور اسلام میں بھی آپ کو آج تو صوفی انفلوئنس جو ہمارے باہر سے آئے, اس کا اپنا ایک انڈیجینیس صوفی ٹریڈیشن ڈیولپ ہو گیا, جس کو ہم رشی ٹریڈیشن کہتے ہیں, جس میں جتنے ہماری شناخت کو بہت زیادہ شناخت کو ڈیفائن کیا ہے سلسلے میں. آپ ایک کلچرل شناخت دی اور اپنی آئیڈینٹی پولیٹیکل ٹرم کی. ہم شیخ العالم یا لال دیو کے بارے میں تذکرہ کرتے تھے. ایک ہماری جو سمکریٹک پرسنالٹی بنی ہے, ان چیزوں کا رول ہے اس میں. اس کے ساتھ میں بتاؤں گا کئی چیزیں ہیں, میں تھوڑا سا اس کو مختصر ہی کر رہا ہوں. ایک اور چیز آپ دیکھیے, وہ یہ ہے, آپ لوگ کہتے ہیں کہ ہمارے لارنس صاحب نے لکھا ہے کشمیر ساؤتھ ایشیا میں انڈین سب کانٹیننٹ میں یونیک اس معاملے میں ہے کہ ان کی ایک تاریخی سینس ہے. یہ تاریخ رائٹنگ ٹریڈیشن تو ایک چیز ہے, لوگوں میں بھی یہاں کے تاریخ کا ایک سینس ہے, وہ کیسے پیدا ہوا. کافی لوگوں نے کافی historians speaking about this. How is it that Kashmir was the only place in South Asia that developed the writing tradition of its history in Kashmir? and going back to 12th century Kalana's Raj Tarangi. तो उसके बारे में भी लोग कहते हैं it is not history writing tradition is not indigenous to South Asia. It's not indigenous to this to Indian subcontinent. It is also people attribute this history writing tradition or historical sense in Kashmir or continuity in historical tradition in Kashmir to its proximity, geographical location in proximity with Central Asia and West Asia. So there are some very eminent historians. Ramila Thapar is one of them, and there are many others who say that this is because of that. It's not that something. Otherwise, why is it that India has wholly of India is absent, and Kashmir has this distinction, the distinction that Lawrence talks about, and Steven and so many other people have talked about. In fact, there is one great recent scholar in Hawaii University in the United States who has gone beyond this. We have seen poetics of because see this Kalana Raj Tarangi is he calls it basically a poetry. Kaviya. It is an epic in a poetic form. So he has got into quite deeper into this, and he has found that this 12th century volume, that 12th century story, is fundamentally in its poetics inspired by Shahnama of Ferdowsi. That was written almost 150 years, sorry, 200 साल पहले इससे लिखी गई थी. वो 10 सेंचुरी में लिखी थी और ये 12 सेंचुरी में. और हिस्ट्री राइटिंग जो आई भी हिंदुस्तान में, वो भी जो थोड़ा सा उन्होंने अल-बिरूनी का किताब हिंद है, वो भी ये ट्रेडिशन हुआ है. ये दूसरी चीज है जो हमें ध्यान में रखनी था. हमारा आउटसाइड इंटरफेस जो कर रहा है, लोग आते रहे जाते रहे, उसमें इन्फ्लुएंसेस रहे हैं. तीसरी चीज मैं इस मामले में एक और चीज मैं जो बताना चाहता हूँ, और कुछ चीजों में छोड़ूंगा because I don't want to take more time here. Maybe for in the process of further discussion we discuss some of it. Islam के बारे में कश्मीर में, that Kashmir has seen, we need to study it further also. Seen different coming and going, and influencing other places also. आप मजीद साहब ने ये कहा कि बुद्धिज्म जहाँ से चला गया, बुद्धिज्म हिंदुइज्म से पहले था. This is the evidence. We get into the historical evidence. We can't get without getting into myths. Then earliest recorded religion, formal religion in Kashmir is Buddhism. Where did it come from? Did it come from the south, from Indies, or it has also come from through other sides, not directly from maybe this. Whatever it is, I'm not getting into that part. But what I want to tell you, what I want to speak about is that religions have come and gone. Buddhism was here, then Hinduism came. Each developed its own distinct personality. But coming about Islam, I think we need to do much more deeper study in this. We generally, बचपन से मैंने सुना था इस्लाम जो पहली पारा मुस्लिम वो बुलबुल शाह साहब, शरफुद्दीन बुलबुल शाह साहब हैं, और पहले जो राजा मुसलमान हो गए और वो बुद्धिस्ट रूलर and that was in 14th century. लेकिन हमारे इसे कलाना का, we get into Kalana, and again I am looking through different various Sanskrit scholars, mostly from the West. I think we need to do more work ourselves also. So what I have seen is that Kalana in his Raj Tarangi mentions 3 types of Muslims in Kashmir. 3 types of Muslims in Kashmir. That is in 12th century. He mentions it. We are dating Islam in Kashmir in 14th century. He mentioned 3 types of Muslims. उसमें वो कहता है कि उसका नाम है, संस्कृत नाम है, मुझे मैंने लिखा हुआ था, मेरी वो आर्टिकल भी है वहाँ. तो एक तो वो जो ईरान से आए थे, रस्त से आए थे, ईरान में पर्शियन. हाँ, 12th century में. 12th, I am going beyond this also. 12th century में वो एक 3 sections of Muslims he mentions. And I have that paper also from a Vienna scholar, a Sanskrit scholar who was एक तो वेस्ट से आए हैं, वो that's from Iran. Second is Turkic Muslims. They are both Turkish. Let me also make another important thing, which many of us don't know, that Central Asia is the colonial name given to what was historically Turkestan. Turkestan में Turkish Muslims, Turkic Muslims, पता नहीं, not necessarily I'm speaking in current idiom. And he has used it, which means Muslims with Turkish origin. And third reference, third type of Muslims he refers to is Malik. Malik means it can be rude, it can be uncivilized. Maybe he refers to other these from non-civil areas of the territory of Kashmir, or non-Brahmin locals who are converted. So there was Muslim presence. Not only this, that in 12th century, he also mentions that Muslims have formed an important influential section of Muslims. Section within society, because many of them were employed by local rulers in their origins. Harsha, 100 years before, in 11th century, he was in 12th century writing about Harsha. In his origin, there were Muslim soldiers, Muslim officers. So Islam was already present. I said, we also need to, we are not looking at the another aspect is that Islam by this time, by 11th, 10th, 11th, 12th century was a dominant global force. And that almost surrounded Kashmir from all sides. If you have a dominant global force, and that also is a place which has been in convergence, where people have come and gone from, naturally would not be safe, cannot avoid the influences. So Kashmir, there was a very dominant influence. Even when Bulbul Shah Sahib is supposed to, is attributed to confuse, what was his name? Buddhist ruler? Rajchara had one important member of his, क्या उसका नाम था, जो subsequently took over power in Kashmir. Shamir was an important member of. It's not that he all of a sudden was exposed to Islam through Bulbul Shah. It was because there were special factors in this, but he had in his council of ministry or in his own courtiers, he had shown an important, powerful person as part of his ruling elite. So it is not that. So therefore, we need to get into. Okay, I will stop here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I think what I need to say, I thought it was some of these points they provide us context to look into how we have been. There has been interviews between Central Asia and Kashmir and places now, and how I would have some more points I would not like to talk about. I think this much is sufficient. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Noor Ahmed Baba Saab, for your special and elaborate lecture on the seminar topic. We are privileged to have among us Professor Mohammad Yusuf Ganai, Dean, School of Social Sciences, and a well-known historian. We request him to deliver a special lecture on this. We we are privileged to have among ourselves Registrar University of Kashmir, Dr. Nisar Ahmed Mir Saab. He's our guest of honor for the occasion. Guest him to deliver his words.
मोहतरम डीन एकेडमिक प्रोफेसर मासूदी साहब, प्रोफेसर बाबा साहब, प्रोफेसर गुलशन साहब, प्रोफेसर यूसुफ साहब, हमारे इज़्ज़त मेहमान मोहतरम दम्बाज साहब, पूरे कारवान हमारे शेख आलम चेयर के खाकी साहब, हमारे ऑडियंस में बैठे हुए प्रोफेसर तारिक साहब, प्रोफेसर इजाज साहब, इरशाद साहब, मंजूर साहब, बाकी साथी, अस्सलाम वालेकुम एंड वेरी गुड आफ्टरनून। थोड़ा टाइम ज़्यादा हुआ क्योंकि हम कहीं और डीन एकेडमिक साहब को मुझे कहीं और भी जाना था, कमिटमेंट ऑलरेडी थी, क्योंकि वी साहब भी आज यहाँ नहीं है। असल में मैं आया था सुनने थोड़ा मिस्टिज्म पर, वो अभी मैंने नहीं सुना, असल में वो थोड़ा मुझे रह गया, एक मिस्ट्री मुझे वो भी रह गई, एक मिस्ट्री रह गई। मैं ज़्यादा टाइम लिए बगैर मैं क्योंकि सेंट्रलेशन इन्फ्लुएंस जो हमारे है, जैसे तारिक साहब को जो सोशोलॉजी का हम कल्चरल डिफ्यूजन, कल्चरल एक्लटोरेशन वगैरह की बात करते हैं, मैं उस पर तो नहीं जाऊंगा क्योंकि ये टॉपिक तो मिस्टिज्म पर था। मैं कल या परसों में कहीं मौलाना रूमी को पढ़ रहा था, वो एक मुझे नहीं पता कि व्हाट इज नियरनेस और व्हाट इज द रिलेशन बिटवीन मिस्टिज्म एंड बिलीफ और यकीन जिसको हम कहते हैं, तो वो मुझे अभी मैंने सोचा था मैं सुनूं, मैं सीखूं। मैं परसों ही कोई मौलाना रूमी का वाक़ा पढ़ रहा था कि एक रेवड़ा था, प्रोबेबली रेवड़ा या शेफर्ड को कहते हैं, तो वो एक दरिया के इस साइड वो अपने चराहों को पास्चर्स में रखा हुआ था, पास्चर ड्राई हो गई तो उसको दरिया के पार जाना पड़ता था। तो दरिया के पार उसको वो नाई वाला जो बोट वाला था वो उसको 2 आने लेता था पार जाने में, वहां से आने में। तो ये रेडवा बड़ा परेशान हो गया, उसने कहा कि मैं क्या करूं, मुझे पैसे ज्यादा जाते हैं पार जाने और आने में। तो इसी में वो एक जो इमाम मौलवी साहब थे, मौलवी साहब के पास गया, मौलवी साहब को कहा कि ऐसा मेरा मसला है, पैसे मेरे पास नहीं है तो मुझे पार जाना पड़ता है, अपने मवेशी को लेके कैसे जाऊं। तो मौलवी साहब ने कहा कि आप एक काम करो, बिस्मिल्लाह लेके बिस्मिल्लाह पढ़ के आप दरिया पार करो। सुबह रेवड़ा गया, उसने बिस्मिल्लाह पढ़ा, दरिया में छलांग मारी, पार हो गया वापस। मवेशी तो चलते हैं, वो तो जाते ही थे। तो ये अब रोज उसका यही मामला होता था, जाना आना। वो शुक्र करता था मौलवी साहब का, उसने मुझे नुस्खा बताया। तो एक दिन क्या हुआ, शाम हुई तो वो पार ही था, अभी तो मौलवी साहब भी वहां खड़े थे। मौलवी साहब ने उनको पूछा कि रेवड़ा जी आप कैसे जा रहे हो पार, क्योंकि अब एक ट्रेडिशन था कि जो बोट्स होती थी शाम को उल्टी की जाती थी, तो सारी बोट जो है वो सारी उल्टी होगी, तो आपको क्या लगता है कैसे जाओगे आप वहां। तो रेवड़े ने कहा मौलवी साहब आपने मुझे तो बताया, आपकी मेहरबानी, तो मैं वही बिस्मिल्लाह लेके बिस्मिल्लाह पढ़ के पार जाता हूँ, तो आप भी बिस्मिल्लाह करें तो चलो। मौलवी साहब को थोड़ा उसने कहा कि चलो ना चलो, चलो ना चलो। अल्टीमेटली कहा कि मैंने ही नुस्खा दिया तो बेटर है मैं भी चलूं। वही मौलवी साहब दरिया में कूदे, थोड़ा बहुत किया तो वो डूबने लगे, तो चलाने लगे। रेवड़ा थोड़ा आगे चला गया था, उसने पीछे देखा तो मौलवी साहब को डूबते हुए देखा। वापस आया, मौलवी साहब को कंधे पर लिया तो पार गया, उसको पार कराया। तो मौलवी साहब को कहा कि आप डूबे क्यों, आपने मुझे बिस्मिल्लाह सिखाया, बिस्मिल्लाह पढ़ाना सिखाया, उसी की बिस्मिल्लाह की वजह से मैं यहाँ आता हूँ। तो मौलवी साहब ने कहा नहीं, मसला है कि आपको मैंने जो कहा कि यकीन बिस्मिल्लाह पढ़ो, आपने उस पर यकीन किया, मैंने जो बिस्मिल्लाह आपको पढ़ाया मुझे अभी भी उस पर यकीन नहीं है। तो ये मुझे नहीं पता कि मिस्टिज्म और यकीन के दरमियान कितना नियरनेस है। तो मुझे जाते जाते मुझे एक इकबाल कशा में ऐसी ढूंढ रहा था, क्योंकि आप मुझे शेयर के बगैर मालूम नहीं होता है। तारिक साहब हंस रहे हैं, तो मगर मुझे बड़ा रेलिवेंट लगा यकीन के साथ। तो मुझे पता नहीं, मैंने अंग्रेजी में अभी जस्ट गूगल से देखा, तो मुझे नहीं पता उर्दू में मैं ठीक हूँ कि नहीं हूँ। इकबाल कहते हैं, जिन्हें मैं ढूंढता था आसमानों में जमीनों में, वो निकले मेरे जुल्मते खाने दिल के मकीनों में। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Nisar Saab, our worthy registrar of the university. Now I invite Professor Masoodi Saab, who is our Dean Academic Affairs, for his chief guest for the occasion. Professor Masoodi Saab.
Our senior colleague, Professor Noor Ahmad Baba, Registrar Saab, Dr. Nisar, Dr. Gulshan Majid, Dean of the Faculty, Janab Yusuf Saab, Professor Fati, and Janab Yusuf Dambal Saab, my colleagues in the audience. लाचार और बेबस समझता हूँ आप इस महफिल में कुछ अर्ज करने से, क्योंकि मैं किसी दूसरे मजमून का तालिब इल्म रह चुका हूँ। ये जो महफिलें हैं, इनमें ऐसे चीज़ों का जिक्र होता है जो हमारी रूहानी नशोनुमा से डायरेक्टली वाबस्ता है, जबकि जिस मजमून का मैं तालिब इल्म हूँ या रह चुका हूँ, उसका ताल्लुक जिस्मानी नशोनुमा से है। तो इसलिए इसमें काफ़ी फ़र्क है। लेकिन कुछ जो मुकर्रिरीन हजरात जिनको मैंने अभी सुना, उनसे कुछ पॉइंट्स मैंने नोट किए, तो वो चंद गुजारिशात आपके सामने रखूंगा। The new educational policy, one of the important components of our new educational policy is that it has to be embedded, it should be deep rooted in our ethos, in our culture. Once we study all these things, what's being discussed here in this session, it's perfectly that. Sort of unrest in general, which we are seeing at present, probably that unrest, that is because we have lost this track. हमने अपनी एजुकेशन को probably उस हद तक deep rooted अपने ethos, अपने culture में नहीं रखा. I think new educational policy is giving us an opportunity to revisit all these things. जो भी यहाँ पर यूनिवर्सिटी के मुंतज़मीन हजरात हैं, मेरे ख्याल में इन चीज़ों की तरफ हमें खास ध्यान देना है। दूसरी बात यह है कि मुझे I can't claim any authority, इस्लाम यहाँ कब आया, कैसे प्रोपगेट हुआ, लेकिन एक बात यह है कि जब हम, मुझे इस्लाम का भी एक सच्ची क्या कहते हैं स्टडी है, जब हम सीरत पाक रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की पढ़ते हैं, उसका मुताला करते हैं, तो कई सारे जो इस्लाम के दिलकश पहलू हैं, जो जितने पहले रेलेवेंट थे उससे ज्यादा आज रेलेवेंट है। शायद हम वो लोगों तक पहुंचाने में, दुनिया के सामने उसको वो रोशनास कराने में शायद हम probably we have failed. जो unrest, probably another reason for unrest at global level or particularly in our community, शायद unrest का दूसरी बड़ी वजह ये भी है। सेंटर फॉर सेंट्रल एशियन स्टडीज बहुत ही एक काबिल तारीफ काम कर चुका है और कर रहा है, लेकिन just I would like to request the faculty and the director to go beyond these just historical dimensions of our studies. there are many other things. اگر ہم سینٹرل ایشیا اور اپنے کیا کہتے ہیں ایگریکلچر کو یا کئی اور ساری چیزوں کو اور پرابلمز وچ دس کامن ریجن فیسز, شاید ان پرابلمز کی اسٹڈی کر کے probably that may be another sort of linkage. اگر آپ پچھلے 2 سال پہ نظر دوڑائیں گے, whole world faced one problem, ایک پینڈیمک کی پرابلم پورے ورلڈ کو کا سامنا کر رہی تھی. So this problem somehow it tried to unify the whole world. اس طرح سے اگر اس پورے سینٹرل ایشیا کی پرابلمز کو اسٹڈی کی جائے, going beyond these historical studies, اگر ان پرابلمز کو اسٹڈی کیا جائے, maybe we may be in a position to find solutions of our own problems. Then studying the mystic thoughts or studying those legendary figures of our society, of our past, who have promoted these mystic thoughts, probably ان سب چیزوں کا لباب یہی تھا کہ پہلے انسان اپنے آپ کو پہچان لے, اپنے اندرون کو جان لے. من عرف نفسک فقد عرف ربک. شاید علامہ اقبال نے بھی اپنے کلام میں اسی چیز کا اظہار فلسفہ خودی میں کئی جگہوں پہ کیا ہے. خودی میں ڈوب جا غافل یہ سر زندگانی ہے, نکل کر حلقے شام و سحر سے جاویداں ہو جا. پروبیبلی زندگی کا, علامہ اقبال کے نزدیک زندگی کا حصول یہی ہے, فلسفہ خودی ہی ہے. اگر ہم یہ سمجھنے سے قاصر ہیں شاید زندگی کا مقصد پورا نہیں ہوتا ہے. So with these words I pay my thanks to all of you. خاص کر خاکی صاحب کا جنہوں نے مجھے یہاں آنے کی دعوت دی اور آپ سے مخاطب ہونے کا, اپنے خیالات کا اظہار کرنے کا موقع دیا. تھینک یو ویری مچ.
ہمارا یہ ووٹ آف تھینکس ہو رہا ہے 2 منٹ میں, تو اس کے بعد ہمارا پہلا اکیڈمک سیشن جس میں 3 پیپرز ہوں گے. میری آپ تمام حضرات سے درخواست ہے کہ آپ یہاں تشریف لائیں. ہم نے کھانے کا اہتمام کیا, انشاءاللہ پونے 2 بجے کھانے کا, اس کے بعد آپ. اور مجھے معلوم ہے رجسٹرار صاحب اور ڈین اکیڈمی صاحب کی بہت زیادہ مصروفیات ہیں. میری درخواست ہوگی انشاءاللہ کہ جب بھی طرح میں ریکویسٹ کروں گا کہ آپ یہاں پر تشریف رکھیں گے. اور اس کے ساتھ ہی میں فیکلٹی آف سینٹر آف سینٹرل اسٹڈیز آپ کا بہت بہت مشکور ہوں کہ آپ یہاں تشریف لائے. اور ڈاکٹر علی محمد راتر صاحب کا, اٹ از اونلی بیکاز آف ہم دیٹ وی کوڈ جسٹ گو اہیڈ ود دا پریزنٹ کانفرنس. اینڈ دین وی ہیو with us Khalid Sahab from Central University of Kashmir. He's the assistant professor at Central University, and our distinguished scholar from Islamic University, Dr. Shaukat Sahab from Islamic Studies. They are with us. All the faculty members, please. So now only vote of thanks for 2 minutes. Then the first academic session that will be chaired by Dr. Tariq Ahmad Rathar Sahab, who is Director of Central Asian Studies. After that, maybe 15-20 minutes, and after that we will go for the lunch. Or lunch ke baad aap se.
Thank you so much, Professor Masoodi Saab, for your presidential address as chief guest for the occasion. I invite Dr. Ilham, faculty, Center for Shaikh Alim Studies, for his vote of thanks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It gives me an immense pleasure and a moment of honor to deliver a formal vote of thanks for the inaugural session of 2-day national seminar cum webinar on Kashmir and Central Asia Common Mystic Heritage. At first, I would like to thank Almighty Allah for making this gathering possible and concludes this inaugural session successfully. On behalf of Center for Shaikh Alim Studies, University of Kashmir, I extend my sincere thanks to our chief guest, Professor Farooq Ahmed Masoodi, Dean Academic Affairs, University of Kashmir, who honored this function with his inspirational thoughts despite his busy schedule. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Professor Gulshan Majid, former Director, Center of Central Asian Studies, University of Kashmir, for his thought-provoking keynote address. Thank you, sir. My words may not be capable of communicating my sense of gratitude. I offer my thanks to Honorable Registrar, University of Kashmir, Dr. Nisar Ahmed Mir, as our guest of honor. Thank you, sir. Very generously, I would like to thank our special guest on the occasion, Professor Noor Ahmed Baba, former Dean, School of Social Science, University of Kashmir, and Professor Muhammad Yusuf Ganai, Dean, School of Social Science, University of Kashmir, for their presence. Thank you very much to both of you, sir. My thanks to one of our guests present here, a Sufi practitioner, Haji Muhammad Yusuf Pare Dambaz Kashmiri Qadri, for accepting our invitation and come here personally. Thank you, sir. In the same time, let me express my gratitude to Professor G.N. Khaki, Chairman Center for Sheikhul Alam Studies, for his support and effort in organizing this two-day national seminar cum webinar. Without his efforts, this may not be possible. Thank you, sir. I take this opportunity to thank the heads and directors and the faculty members of various departments and the centers of this university and outside. Mentioning all the names is not possible. Thank you. I would like to thank the staff of Center for Sheikhul Alam Studies, teaching and non-teaching, for their efforts in making this event successful. I remain also grateful to different media platforms, including Doordarshan, EMMRC, and other print and electronic media for their media coverage. Last but not least, my heartfelt thanks to our audience, including students, research scholars from different departments, and especially our online participants, Professor Bashir Bashir, especially the former chairman of this center. Thank you to all of you. I once again thank you to all. Now I conclude this session with the supplication. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun alal mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Thank you.